Hey Anna, how's it going? Northern California? I'm in Southern California. I'm in Temecula. I can say that because there's only 3 people in here right now. I discovered I wake up till 1:30, and if it's 11:35, I wake up till 3. Eureka? Okay, cool. That's way up there. Um, how is it up there? I've actually, like, I don't think I've been, at least in California, further up than like Sacramento. I did not win the Powerball, unfortunately. Um, yeah, but I also didn't play, so I guess I can't really win, right? Um, I do every now and then, but I haven't even been paying attention to like the fact that it was over like 1.5 billion. Like I didn't even know. Actually, didn't know until yesterday, and when I saw that on a one of those lotto things, I was like, oh, that's interesting, but I didn't even think about buying one. I should have, um, but then there would have been 3 winners, right? What would I do with 500 million? Well, I mean, that's a lot of money. I've heard, beautiful giant redwood trees, ocean. That's awesome. Like I've seen redwoods, but you know, I I've never been up there, but that's how I kind of imagine it being like much more lush and green than how it is down here, where it's basically a desert. Um, but yeah, what would I do with 500 million? Shoot, obviously pay off like all my debts and stuff. Actually pay off my house. Um, honestly, I'd probably give half to my ex-wife, to be honest, or my soon-to-be ex-wife, because it would be able to, allow the kids to, have consistent experiences with mom and dad. And then I'd probably start a nonprofit, to be honest with you. Um, and I don't know, donate some obviously to some causes, but I feel like I would, spend my time then moving forward, focusing on like community service and that kind of stuff. So I would look at it as a way to enable me for that. So I would probably still continue to live like how I do now, like with the whatever level of modesty that I have. I wouldn't like increase my spending. Um, and I'd probably, just have it. I'd probably just treat it like a job, right? I would have it like scheduled to like put in certain amounts into like my account and just always have a job I don't have to go to, basically. Um, and then set up my kids with stuff. I don't know, like it's never gonna happen, so I didn't really put too much thought into it, but that's initially what I would do. I'm sure once I gave it more thought, I would probably be much more humanitarian. I wouldn't want to be luxurious, you know what I mean? Because um I don't know, it would be flashy. It'd be like everyone would see me and they'd be like, "Oh, there's that rich guy," right? Um I feel like I would just be just normal. Like I wouldn't want to appear like anything had changed. Um the only difference would be I wouldn't have to go to work. YouTube Row 36 now. Yeah. Did you just find out at 36, or have you known for a while? For me, it happened, started just a few hours before my 43rd birthday. Hello from Norway. I'm in Southern California, in the U.S. Um, but yeah, so um, what was I saying? Can't remember. Getting an ADHD demonstration right now. Um, Still in the last this is autism and CPTSD. Yeah, it's quite a combination, isn't it? And here's the thing, like you would think that like your Me Too bro is like rare. It's not. Like people come in here, and I think dyslexia is the one that most of them say, like everything besides dyslexia. But then when I explain my dyslexia and what it is, half the time people go, "Oh, yeah, I have that too." But it seems like a lot of these things, they like, does it like, I feel like, does one happen more often because of the other, you know? Oh man, dyslexia and dyscalculia, that is the combo. uh, you remember a lot of lyrics. How does that relate? Like I need to know how that relates. Hey, it's a bitch. How's it going? Um, because here's the thing: when I listen to music, I don't hear the lyrics. Like I can't really understand them. I have to actually like read the lyrics to know what people are saying. You know, really not doing too good. Well, you're in the right place. You have to read the lyrics too, Deanna. Butterfly Warlord, thank you for the rose. Um, it's well, see, the thing is some of it is also the kind of music that I listen to, right? And there's a lot of screaming, and sometimes it's rushed when it's punk, so there's that part. But even when it's slow music, like if I hear a Taylor Swift song, like I have to read the lyrics to know what she's saying, you know. Um, and so I always assumed it was just because of the kind of music that I listened to, and then it was no when I started hearing other music. It gets hard. But then I also listen to music where people mumble, like the National. Like the singer for the National mumbles like all of his words, you know. So it's like, and then they didn't like include lyrics in their albums, you know. So I don't know. Um, you make music? That's awesome. I make music too. Got the guitars right back there. Got my old Les Paul right here. Just I've been trying to play a little bit more. You're not. So you didn't get the job, huh? Um, it's that job market stuff is really hard right now too. But I know that doesn't really help you feel any better. Um, and so yeah, I know it's hard. And definitely probably not feeling like the people who are helping you get a job are doing anything. Give until the end of October to get a job, or you're getting kicked out. That's a bummer. Like, what's the living situation like where you're getting kicked out? If you imagine watching a movie or a documentary, um, what do you mean by that? Um, just curious. Oops, in the wrong screen here. There we go. Living with partner and his grandparents' house. Um, yeah, that's a bit rough. Are things like strained between you and your partner right now? There we go. Nice. Yeah, I used to write, of course, like a lot of punk songs, as I mentioned, but like here's the thing. I haven't written anything in a long time, and it's like now's kind of the time going through all this stuff to where I could write stuff, unique stuff. And so I'm thinking about doing that, and kind of writing about my experience going through all this, because it is like and I'm sure too, it does mess with you. Hey, Kim, how's it going? And thank you for the tiny diny too. Um, so yeah, I forgot I gotta check. Getting close to ranking matters time. Where are we at? All right, let's see. All right, that's not too bad. Let me see. Oh, well, my partner isn't getting kicked out because lucky him, he was given 2 jobs. Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, so, yeah. You love freestyling? That's also is that like what your style is? Like freestyle? Do you like do rap and stuff, or freestyle something else? Um, so I don't even remember music as a conversation. I could see that, yeah. After the second one fired him. Well, what are you looking for, like any kind of job, or are you looking for a job in like a particular thing, you know? Because I know at some point it's like you don't get the luxury of picking a job you like. You just need a job, you know? Um, Kim, what are you up to? I haven't been able to see your lives, but then again, I've been in outpatient therapy, in an outpatient therapy program, and so like most of my days consumed with that, and then it's kids and all that stuff, you know. Have you been going live? How's that been going and everything? It's like 5:54 from the north of Norway. It's cold. Yeah. I wish it was cold. It's so stinking hot here in Southern California. Um, and at night it's been getting very humid too. So I'm complaining. I live like an hour from the beach, an hour from the mountains, an hour from the desert. You know, I shouldn't be complaining because of that, but yeah, the weather does definitely. And there's those pockets of times when it's shifting and it's a little gross, you know. Yeah, that's rough. It's a bitch. I'm sorry. Hey, it's a bitch. If you wanted to tell me your first name, I would love to be able to call you something else besides what I call you right now. But if you don't want to, that's totally fine as well. Um, but yeah, Ash, you got it. I'm gonna write that down. Got it. I need to go be live more consistently, but life is insane right now. Found us in Florida. Awesome. That's great. Ooh, I got 4 minutes. I'm gonna gift myself. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to my other account and man, I wish I was signed in on the web on my other account. I don't know if I have enough time. I just got home from Walmart. Let's see. Yeah. You're so done. I legit see myself almost no one wants anything to do. Well, I mean, I know it kind of seems that way. A lot of it could also be tough love of just threatening, you know, you to kick you out versus actually doing it, you know. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, but I definitely understand sort of the worry that's there because of that. You know, just hopefully it doesn't play out that way. You know, I don't know obviously from my perspective, but I would hope that it would be that way. You know. Oh, Ash, there's plenty of reasons to live, and the thing is that a lot of it is, you know, it can be due to the fact that there's still so much more, you know, to experience and, you know, and to live, you know. Um, recharge. Yeah, that one will work. Let's try it. You can look at page if you want. Nice to meet you, though. Yeah, absolutely. I will. I'll give you a follow. And I'll check you out here. Oh, I am following you. All right. So what I'll do is I will I'll just open your profile and I'll take a look at it here shortly. All right. Got my coins. I'm about to enter my own live. And let's see. Yes, that's what I'm doing. We're battling together, you know. So yeah, is it funny? What gift should I give myself besides a heart me that I'm about to send? All right. Let's see. I don't have much time, and it doesn't want to give me many options. I am going to give myself a future encounter. Ooh, look at that, go me. Wow. And there we go. will hopefully be fine now. I think. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I honestly, like, I'm thinking the time that it would take me to the effort that I would have to put in to just rank up from D1 to C5, I may as well just spend like the $15 to just do that, and you know what I mean? Um, so yeah. Um, and now, oh, it's being updated, but yeah, should be good. We'll find out. Yeah, I get it. Um, don't worry. Honestly, like, I wasn't looking for it for any of you guys. I just like looked at it and I was like, it's within reach. You know what I mean? Usually, if it's like not, that's one thing. Um, I'm legit seeing everyone around me getting everything just handed to them. You know, that really is hard. Yeah, it's one fragment got. Hopefully, oh, C5. I'm in C5. Um, so that's cool. There we go. But yeah, seeing everyone getting things handed to them around, like, I definitely went through that. You know, but I think a lot of it for me, you know, it was really hard for me to be able to kind of like look inward because of everything I was seeing outward, which is obviously like very easy to get into. You know, only self-diagnosed with one, and you can guess which one, Fubar. The other ones are legit diagnosed. Um, but yeah, Ash, you know, um, a lot. Do you mind if I ask how old you are? Because that does kind of play a role into part of like how you encounter life, right? Happy that you pop up my algorithm, ADHD. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy that that's the thing. Is like I love it. I love the algorithm. The algorithm is spot on, isn't it? Um, because it also brings in people who don't even know yet, and that's what's cool. Um, you do realize it takes years to get an ADHD diagnosis, right? No, actually, it doesn't take years. It's weird that you would say that to somebody who got an ADHD diagnosis last year. So weird. ASPD. Oh, okay. Sorry. I have dyslexia. Um, so what about the wait, ASPD. Let me double check this. That doesn't seem... Antisocial personality disorder. Nah. I don't have antisocial personality disorder. I definitely am antisocial, but that's also part of the autism part. I got diagnosed in the 90s with ADHD plus H. So, like, the hyperactive ADHD. I got combined type. I got the give them everything you got, put them all in. You know. All right, Kim, that sounds good. I will. I hear that I have ASMR speaking abilities. You know, Fubar shaking your head. Why are you shaking your head? Unless you're going like this, then that's cool. Are you not into some music? Yeah. I'm 24 and I got nothing to show for it. When I was 24, I had nothing to show for it either. And in fact, I'm not comparing, not doing all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of like, what I'm trying to say is that, like, I feel like it's pretty normal to just, because here's the thing, you know, you go through high school, right? You go through your teenage years and everyone's telling you to figure out what you're going to do and all that stuff. I honestly never figured out what I was going to do. You're taking away resources from people. Who am I taking resources away from? And what is my resources? And stop self-diagnosing for attention. I told you that I have official diagnoses. You know, I think the problem here is that you don't really understand this stuff, but you think you do. And I would love to be able to help clarify things for you, but it's going to take some willingness on your part to hear it out and not think that you know all the things about it. Because I have some lived experience, so I could share with you if that was interesting, if you were interested in something like that, you know. But I know not everyone, you know, can be that way, you know, and so kind of sucks, but Yeah. So anyway, oh crap, what was that? Anyway, um, yeah, that hurt. Um, Ash, like going back to what I was saying, like I, I mean, people are expected to figure out what they're gonna do, right? And I'm sure, like me, it sounds like you probably are still like trying to figure that out, right? It's unfair to ask somebody who doesn't even have their brain fully developed yet to decide lifelong decisions on what they're going to do with their career. And I mean, you're at the age where it's almost done developing. I think it's like 25 or 26, right? And so, keep that in mind as well, is that there's still growth that's happening, right? And it's legit real. Um, you're laughing hard now. You think that's funny? I got a better one for you.
Freeze!
Do you not
This
hear
is
it?
the
Because I
diagnosis
can't hear it.
police. Hand over your fidget toys
Man.
and move away from the
There's
train.
like a text to speech that goes with it, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, audio is not working. That sucks. I don't know why. As soon as I started paying for Tickfinity, it stopped working. Yeah. I don't know what to do about that because it should be having sound. It just doesn't. Um, I don't know. How can I get a car if I don't have money? How can I get money if I don't have a job? Yeah, that's the thing. And like, so putting into sort of the, discussing, I guess, the overall like concept of like what's going on and everything like that. Like, is there anything that you're leaning towards that you do want to do, something that you do want to be doing? Because part of it is also going to be like, if you can find something that you're at least interested in, something that at least excites you, then it makes it easier when you're doing those job interviews to really like give it your all. But yeah, Kim, thank you. There's a lot of things that I forget to do, and sometimes that's validating people, which is an important thing to do. But yeah, really, I know it's been hard. When you come in here, there's things that you struggle with and stuff, and you're always welcome to come in here. And so I know that there's a lot of stuff going on, and it sucks that you have to go through all of these things, and it just kind of sucks that you're kind of at the mercy of fate sometimes, especially when it's somebody else has to decide something for you. I've hired people, I've interviewed people and hired them, and I it's yeah, some people, it's, I don't know, like they take that like with power. For me it was always like, I felt so bad because there were a lot of people who had passion for what they wanted to do, but it was like there was always like way too many applicants and not enough positions, kind of a thing. um but yeah, being creative, yeah, yeah, finding ways to approach things in unique ways is a good way to get people's attention too. You know, um, what was it? I wore a pinstripe suit once to an interview purposefully. And I got the job though. But I was like 17. I was a projectionist at a theater. But still, job. Sorry, I know you said, hey Tim, does your ADHD ever make you take forever to eat? Yeah, I forget to eat. Do you think someone with dyslexia would be more likely to hire somebody with dyslexia? Um, I don't know. Um, I mean, I wouldn't really have that bias towards it, but I don't know. I mean, maybe accidentally, if I accidentally push the wrong button on the thing. But But no, I don't think it would have any impact. TBH. Is anything not enough? Because it feels like that. Yeah, I know. It's rough. You just got confirmation to create the series you were thinking about. It's all about the 4 core truths. What are those 4 core truths? Did I say that right? I hope I did. No, Ash, that is not the case. You're not destined to be homeless. And look, I've worried about that stuff too because I'm somebody who worries about stuff. And when I lost one of my jobs that I had, was laid off, a job I had for 12 years, and during that 12 years, I got married, had a kid, bought a house, all that stuff. I totally thought I was going to be homeless because I really don't have much education, or my marketing or my marketable skills are very narrow, and so I experience a lot of stress over that kind of stuff, especially if I'm like, here's one of the things that it does. It makes you want to stay in a position, even if that position is so unhealthy for you, because you don't think you can get anything else. And that's kind of what contributed to my burnout, was being like, well, nobody else is going to hire me, so I should probably stay here, But I don't think you're destined to be homeless. I think that there's a lot of things that are difficult, but approaching things, just one day at a time will definitely help you, not stress too much about the things that you don't know yet. It's not saying to ignore the fact that you might have to find somewhere else to live or that kind of stuff, but it's saying like, try not to worry too much about it because that day is not here yet. And, the criteria and all that stuff hasn't been determined. There's so many things that are still like unknown factors, and so I would just say like, try, to not focus on those things too much, especially like, the middle of the night, that kind of stuff. But, try and let go of it. Try and just be present in the moment. Hopefully it's something that, is easier for you to do. But a lot of it is just going to be trying to control how you're feeling about these things, and try and, I don't know, find ways to cope with it, because I do think that over time you'll be able to, kind of get a better perspective on sort of the, all this. But also do keep in mind the job market is really tough right now, and hopefully you're able to, while you're in this stage, find something that you actually love doing. That would be awesome, let's see. Kim, let's see what you said. It filtered out number 2. Parents aren't perfect, and oh wait, no, 2's right there. Parents aren't perfect, and that's not my fault. I am enough for the right people. I have an amazing heart and deserve sympathy. I imagine the best there is. That's awesome. I like that. Faceless, I value myself. I'm at least worth $1.50 at least. But welcome back. Hey Autumn, how's it going? Good morning to you. Yeah. What's making it worse is everyone's telling my partner to break up because you don't have a job. Like, I don't think partners like are together because of somebody's employment status, and if people are saying that stuff, it's up to him to tell them to STFU, because that's beyond what anyone should be able to say, like, what more can I give to keep going? I have nothing left. I know it's hard. I think, especially at night, it's hard because you can't stop thinking about all the things, about reminiscing on everything, right? I could easily be spiraling right now too, because I'm going through a divorce that's going to be finalized in less than a month. and there's so many unknowns and so many things that are there, but I can't worry about it now because that's all I would be able to do is worry. There's no information, there's no details, there's nothing. And so, I choose to really just put it aside for now because there is no good outcome that I can have from even stressing about it right now. There's nothing that I would be able to do. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, like, try and figure out a way to be able to put those thoughts to the side for right now so that you at least don't have to focus on the hard parts, right? You don't sleep, you stay awake all night every day applying for jobs. You need to sleep. That's probably one of the reasons too why you're feeling the way that you feel, is just not getting enough sleep. And I know it sounds silly and stupid. I hate when people tell me to either go to sleep or to get more sleep and all that stuff, but on the days when I get at least 7 hours, things are significantly different, so hopefully you're able to. Let's see. Superficiality is God. Says, I heard ADHD is caused by too much stimulation as a kid via cartoons that are fast-paced or flicker. Then what did my parents do that made me inherit the trait? That's not entirely true. So part of my childhood involved my parents not allowing us to watch cartoons because the church pastor said not to. So didn't get much animation back in the day. But I can tell you, looking back at my family, extended family and all that stuff, oh, there's a lot of neurodivergency there. A lot. Crybaby, a job is not the thing that gives you value as a person. A freaking men. Live in the present, do everything you can every day, even if it's just to rest. Yeah, that's great. That's great advice, Crybaby. For reals. Even when you're sick in the hospital or you're applying for jobs, I get it. I apply for lots of jobs when I'm thinking of switching and all that kind of stuff, and I'll get some interviews, but the thing is that my interviews for me are very hard. Because of the ADHD, because when I get asked questions, I need a moment to think, right? Process things a little bit slower. But then I feel pressure because it's an interview. It's rough. These things are very, very rough. And so I don't know. Let's see. Sorry for my dyslexia, and I'm typing my second language. I hope people understand. You're doing great, Butterfly. You are, okay? You worked in a fishing boat in the north of Norway. You're gonna do it again? That's really cool. You should live stream if you can while you're doing it. I know a lot of times you don't have access to that, but the people who do, they a lot of people like to see that stuff. Thank you for tapping, Kim. You're gonna be falling asleep and doing sleep tapping. But yeah, I don't see the point in it anymore. It's like I'm destined to failure. I thought I was destined to failure too, but like everyone's saying, a job does not define you. This is true. It, like, if I were to get laid off, fired, or whatever, I would definitely feel the same way. I would feel like a failure, but that would be like a lot of my emotions taking over when I would have, rationale or logic reintroduced. I'd gain a little bit perspective, but the thing is, it's like all these things that I'm saying, I don't think anything is going to help because the situation itself is just hard. And so, like, really what I would say, like I would say to a lot of people, is to give yourself grace because, things are rough out there. It's not your fault that you're not getting these jobs, somebody else is deciding it, not you. So you're not really the failure, and so you know, I just really do hope that you see it that way, that you see that these are decisions made by other people and it's not you, you know, these things aren't you. They just affect you, you know, and it sucks that they do. It really does. Maybe in a cold, dark winter. I'm so excited. That's awesome. I even updated my resume 6 times to try and give myself a better outcome and nothing changed. You know, it's a bitch. If you want to go to my Discord, and if you wanted to, I could take a look at your resume for you. So for perspective, I work in IT. I'm a director at an IT company. I look at a lot of resumes, and you know, I'd be willing to help you out there, you know, if you wanted to. You know, I guess just take a look, see if there is anything, you know, see if there's anything that we can change or whatever. Do you do like LinkedIn and all that stuff? Because that's the, you know, LinkedIn being like the Tinder for professionals, right? And actually, in reality, it's more like OnlyFans for professionals. I don't even know if I could say that word. I'm probably gonna get in trouble now, you know. But in a more friends, not in a friends, professionals, you know. I don't know. I feel like people on LinkedIn are just like so fake. It took me a very long time to get myself on there. You got ChatGPT to look at it. Yeah, well, you know, ChatGPT can also help you in creative ways find other things that you like doing. You know, you can ask it to help you figure something out, ask you questions and all that. The best part is when you tell it to ask you questions one at a time, because usually it comes to you with like 5 questions, but once I answer one of them, the other questions may change. So I always, when I'm doing it, have it ask me 1 question at a time, that kind of stuff, you know. I will recommend Perplexity. What's Perplexity ChatGPT? Is it just like a different AI altogether away from ChatGPT? Or is it something that you add on to ChatGPT? Yeah, that's rough. You know, I'm just really sorry that you're having to go through all that, you know. But I've been there. I have. Thank you for the follow, crybaby. I've been there, and so I know what it's like. And a lot of these things will be temporary too. I didn't even start my like career until I was 26, 27. Yeah, 27. So I was pretty late to the game. And again, I didn't have any education. It was purely just skill that allowed me to, and that was hyper focusing on computers and understanding everything about computers, you know, was useful. Because when I was hired in 2006 at this company, they needed people who had an inherent understanding of computers, because there weren't enough people with enough like hands-on experience. And so it really did go off of sort of my abilities to handle computers and all that stuff. You have a Kali Linux? Awesome. I do a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, that's a good idea, Kim. You know, talking with ChatGPT about how you feel and why you feel that way and all that stuff. Yeah, that's very, very powerful. You know, it can help you process it too. You know, can it help you with either like the framing or, you know, stuff like that. Always good to have. It's always good to have you here, Dave. Oh. Ooh. But yeah. Knowledge is power. I wonder if I'm going to rank up on my other account. I am. All right. Tim reaching level 3. Woohoo. Oh, man. I do that. Perplexity is really awesome. I highly recommend it. Is it a separate AI? Perplexity AI. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a different company. I think I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison eventually. Let me ask you a question about something that I know about. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I enter my prompts, they are very, very specific with a lot of context and everything. Yeah, there's a computer like perplexity.ai. So I want to check it out and see. And I use it a lot for like mental health stuff too. So let me see here. I have this issue where I have body just shakes outside of control. I also have CPTSD, autism, and ADHD combined type. Would any of this affect the way my nervous system handles motor skills? All right. Yeah, CPTSD, autism, and ADHD can all impact the way the nervous system manages motor skills. Okay, CPTSD motor skills, complex PTSD is linked to trauma, which can disrupt sensory processing and motor development. Blah, 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 blah. Dysregulation of the pituitary, something, something. Okay. ADHD combined type conclusion. So what would it likely be called? Help me reach my goals. Yeah, my chat is a she. Oh, yeah, yeah. Aha! It knows the answer. When I said, what is it likely to be after all of that? First answer, functional neurological disorder. And that's what I got. It's when I get overwhelmed, my whole body shakes and I can't control it. It's like a seizure without a seizure kind of a thing. So yeah, it nailed it from just that 2 questions. First question being, I have an issue where, okay, it's going to be a little bit TMI, all right? But only TMI if you look these things up. I have an issue where I have piriformis and my body just shakes outside of control. I also have CPTSD, autism, and ADHD combined type. When any of these affect the way my nervous system handles motor skills. And then when I said, what is it likely? First thing was functional nervous disorder. The other one was developmental coordination disorder. And then a psychogenic movement disorder. But I was diagnosed with the first one. You twitching jerk. I could show a video actually of what I do. Let's see. September 2023. That was when the first time I had this happen. And it was a recorded. All right, there we go. So this is the kind of shaking that I would do. So kind of like you see my hands and my legs kind of like just all moving. I was doing that completely involuntary, right? And then I was trying to like hold it still, which I could, but when I held it still, it was like really painful. And then, hold on, no, my neck, it would like tighten and everything, especially in the back. But that's basically how it manifested. So this happened, this was about 9 months before I found out, before this. And it just happened one day. I was completely fine, calm, and I was actually in bed. And I felt my legs start to move, and I was like, oh, that's weird, but it kind of felt familiar. And I think I had been doing it like in my sleep, actually. But then I started freaking out about it, and that caused it to get worse. And then eventually, it was diagnosed. But it took me until like just a couple weeks ago to get that. When was it? So I have the paper here still. I had the paper here still. Yeah, it was like shoot. Um, really, it was just like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was because I went to a neurologist because of what was piriformis, what piriformis ended up, for the symptoms of piriformis, which was later diagnosed as something else or as piriformis. But I thought it was like nerve damage or something like that because of just how painful it was. Um, but eventually it took me because of the CPTSD. CPTSD comes with like feelings and sensations from trauma. And so it was just coincidental that the piriformis gave pain where I experienced trauma. And so because of that, my brain was freaking out and telling me, get out of there, all that stuff, So it was just reminding me, showing me flashbacks and stuff. Um, and yeah, it was a very um, interesting day. But the thing is that interesting, and the thing is that like I have so much more context now, so much more information that makes everything except for the fact that it was on my birthday. Like I understand it all now from like a scientific standpoint and from like the real rationale of everything. But in that moment, I was just like in bed, tons of memories coming back, freaking out about it, and all that stuff. Um, yeah. Neurologist. Yeah, so I went to a neurologist because okay, so my trauma is corporal punishment, but like a very, very severe way of doing it that's interlaced with religious trauma. Okay. So that meant basically I got spanked a lot, right? But with like foreign objects and done in very gruesome ways and stuff. Um, so, I started re experiencing pain at the same site where I was hit, right? Coincidentally. Um, because my parents were right handed, there was only one way that I would get hit. Okay. And so when I started experiencing that pain, I didn't know that it was piriformis. I didn't know anything was happening. All I knew was like my brain felt that pain and was like, I remember this. This is a very traumatic thing. Get out of there. Okay. Um, and of course, I was like not responding to those feelings. Yes, the body keeps the score is absolutely true. I wasn't responding to those feelings, but I was very confused by it. And then I was kind of sitting with it, not knowing I was sitting with it, but the memories kept coming back. It's as if my brain was saying, no, seriously, get the hell out of there. Um, and then, yeah, then it was just like a couple hours of repressed memories coming back. And eventually I fell asleep. But um, it was very daunting. But see, the thing is that pain continued. And whenever I would have that pain, I would shake. And the reason being is that piriformis wraps around the sciatic nerve and the vagus nerve. And when I shake, because of the functional motor disorder or functional neurological disorder, when I get overstimulated, I shake, right? But what happens is when I get overstimulated, that's my nervous system firing back even stronger. So that takes the muscle that is wrapped around the sciatic and vagus nerve and it tightens it even more. So it's a continuous loop of pain causes my nervous system to then release more pain, which causes that muscle to tighten, which releases more pain, which then it, it just goes in that cycle. And so the pain was constant. And after a while, I was thinking, I really hope my parents didn't like damage something, because here's the thing. Also, I lost like over 100 pounds recently from an illness, and I lost most of my butt. Okay. And so when I sit down, it hurts, but I think part of that is also what my brain remembered, and so, yeah, it was very interesting because I was looking at it from now. Part of me was looking at it from the person who had childhood they did and was like reliving it. But there was another part of me that was so intrigued about what was happening with my brain, because I was still in my prefrontal cortex. I was still thinking, like in my thinking brain. I wasn't reverting to giving into my amygdala being triggered, because I knew my present moment wasn't scary. The thoughts were scary, but not where I was presently. But Yeah, I'm going on a long rant. um, but basically, because of everything that happened, because trigger warning is I'm gonna show the foreign object that was used to corporal punishments. So if you don't want to see it, don't look for the next 5 seconds. So this is what was used, and it's like solid wood, right? And the way it was done was, like I said, at the same site. It was done when I was 3 years old, from 3 until I was 8. And you can only imagine how much body fat a 3-year-old has, right? So I really did think it was nerve damage, and that was the reason for the shaking and all that kind of stuff. But it ended up not being. The neurologist said that everything was looking fine, did lots of tests, all that kind of stuff. So it was able to clear my mind from the fact that I may have nerve damage. But then when I went there, when I showed the shaking, I didn't expect that to get diagnosed, but that then ended up getting diagnosed by the neurologist. And so I wasn't going for that answer, but I ended up getting that answer, looking for a different answer. So it was really cool. Belt and wire hanger. That sucks. Like wrapped around, or I don't even know. I don't even want to ask. Why your feet went numb. Still looking for a diagnosis. No diabetes. Could also be blood circulation. Might be something too, Folded. Okay. But yeah. So the body keeps the score thing was actually the reason why it took me so long to even go see a doctor, because I was experiencing the smells from the trauma, like the room smell. I was visually remembering things. I was feeling the emotions and the physical sensations from everything, like all of that happening. So naturally, I would think that the physical pain that I had was also attributed to that, but it wasn't. It was actually the trigger, and it was just the trigger that continued to be painful. So I was really happy to discover that part. Especially happy to know that there wasn't nerve damage, Bunch of tests, nothing yet. Other than the house I grew up in, I'm really comfortable. I am worried. How much can I even say? I'm worried that I'm gonna not be comfortable in my house again, because of trauma. And that same thing, too many bad memories. But this is the house that my kids grew up in, and my ex isn't going to be able to afford it. And I already feel so terrible petitioning for a divorce and putting my kids through it. And so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that I can get comfortable. But there's certain places in the house that always trigger me significantly. So not trigger like, oh, I'm triggered, like where I walk by and I just have fear because my amygdala gets triggered. And it's just like you just walk by that space, oh, it's uncomfortable. You start to feel fear, and it sucks. It's like hardwired, and I'm just really hoping I can unwire it, yeah. Thank you, Jessica. But yeah, oops. What did I miss? I missed someone taking the title gift. I missed a lot. I am so sorry. There's pop-ups on top of things and stuff. So Autumn, I did not see your heart me. So thank you for that. As well as Butterfly Warlord. I forgot to thank myself for the heart me and the future encounter. And then thank you, Kim, for the heart me and go populars. I appreciate you, Jessica. I really do. Yeah, it's the thing is that that's one of the interesting things about healing out loud, I guess, for me, is that at first it was a lot of just random weird stuff, but then as I go through, who do that, crybaby? Thank you for the heart me. As I go through everything and unfold it, it just like I don't know, to me it's super interesting. Like, think about the domino effect of just the natural progression of how things happened for me, right? piriformis is something completely different. Like, it has nothing to do with anything that I probably could have helped. Okay. But it's just, so that ended up being a trigger that then released tons of memories from me that probably would not have been released unless something else were to have happened, because it was triggered by a body sensation. So I could have very easily just not had any of these experiences, but it took like literal stars aligning for me to have the realization that I did. Because yeah, it's too many factors were at play. You know, even the fact that there was like a text thread going on with my siblings that made me think about my childhood. Like, there's so many little things that happened that are just feeding off of each other, you know? So yeah, it's very very interesting. But yeah, when I think about it though, I think about it from a scientific standpoint for the most part, because it's weird when you've already kind of come to terms with the trauma that you had, and then but you didn't know it was trauma, and then you find out you have CPTSD, and it's like, I'm supposed to process this. I processed this years ago, you know. But the complex part of it then revealed, no, there's other stuff that hasn't been processed yet. And so it was very good to kind of get that diagnosis, and then to get, you know, into therapy for resolving a lot of things, because there was more that was there that I just ignored. And you know, thankfully was able to get it taken care of too. So yeah. I'm only going to stay on for a few more minutes because your boy is tired, and I want to get some good sleep tonight. So I'm going to get some good sleep tonight. Yeah. But Dave, I hear you. Good night, crybaby. Have a good evening. Yeah. Absolutely great idea. What's an absolutely great idea? Bro, I crashed from whatever it was that I had. What'd you have? Well, maybe don't tell me. Me too. See you another time. Nice life. Thanks. Thank you, Butterfly, for saying that. I really, really do appreciate it. Please do come back. Sometimes I'm a little bit more level headed. But 6 a.m. Pacific time is when I typically go live. And there's a lot more sort of questions and mental health specific questions and discussions and all that kind of stuff. Oh, the manic episode. Okay. So does that mean yesterday you were still in it when you came in here? Appreciate you, Dave. Truly. You know, it's hard. Okay, it's hard. And sometimes I wish I could just turn off certain memories, even though they're things that like set, like make my story. There are some things where it's like I processed it and I feel like my physical body response is not properly aligned, you know. So when walking by places that are triggering, like, I really should be able to accept the fact that I'm fine, that I'm safe, you know, but it doesn't believe me. Oh, it was mixed between the two. So you were like kind of like in a phase in, phase out kind of state with your psychosis. 6:42 in Norway now. So what's Pacific time? Well, it's 9:43 right now. So I will be going live in about 8 hours. 8 hours and 15 minutes. 8 hours and, yeah, about that. So whatever 8 hours is for you, which seems to be like 2:42 p.m., that would be when I go live, would be, what, 3 o'clock, is it? No, it's 2 o'clock. I'd go live on 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. your time. If you're, wait, hold on. What's the time difference? Because maybe I'm wrong. I think I am wrong. Yeah, it's I think it's an hour more. Because let me see. I got to do like the math real fast. I'm gonna math it, but I'm gonna math it in a different way. Probably the long way, the harder way. But 12 hours from now for you would be 6:42 p.m. So we'll subtract 3 hours and 42 minutes from the current time, which would be, yeah, 2 o'clock, right? 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Or sorry, 1400. Jeez. Everybody's in the military these days. I don't want to get into the lows because I'm not comfortable with that, but sorry about that. Gabe, stop apologizing, okay? Like I said, this is a safe space. You didn't come in, you didn't disrupt anything, you didn't. I'm glad, honestly, that you came in here because you went somewhere safe and you knew it was safe. And even when you're in psychosis, you know, part of you is still there. You just don't really have a full grasp on it. But I'm glad that you came into this space when you were distressed. Really, that's where I want to be. So, yeah. Your work uses military time? Do you work for the military? I'm in the US, you know, so I insist on everything being said with AM, PMs. You got to use inches and ounces and pounds and all that stuff. You know, it's ridiculous. I don't know why we have to be so different, you know. It would be kind of nice to be a little consistent. Petroleum Transport Company. Oh, that's cool. I don't really know what I did, but I'm assuming it's... Listen, Gabe, if you said something bad, I would have remembered it. Okay? I think you were just panicky. And nobody knows. Nobody's going to remember. Honestly, nobody's going to remember and nobody's going to care that happened. They'll care about you, but they won't care that happened. So give yourself grace. You know, because you're good. You deserve to be able to just be okay with yourself. You can be okay with yourself. Yeah, 20. Yeah, you don't actually say military time. Yeah, I know that's also a U.S. term. I think military time. But yeah. But yeah. Yep. So enough about me. How are you doing, Gabe? I'm doing pretty okay. I met someone, but I think I'll leave it at that. You're being ignored. I did not see you. I think you may be being filtered, automatically assigned default, exclamation point. I have not seen a comment come in from you. If there is one, like I said, it was likely filtered. Yeah, I don't see anything here. So maybe reword one of the words. That may be a trigger or something like that. Yeah, hopefully it, yeah. What is your question? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Or you could join my Discord too if you want to join my Discord. You can post things there. It's open to anyone. So more than welcome to post there. If I experience psychosis, I heard something you said. So I don't think it was psychosis per se. I have questioned that because repressed memories coming back isn't necessarily psychosis, right? It's more of like remembering things, especially since I was still in my prefrontal cortex and everything. But had I experienced psychosis other times or in other situations, I may have. But I think really it was being hypo-aroused in a trauma state, which means like basically dissociating. And so I may have then, but I was traumatized. So part of it may have just been like fear acting, you know. What's psychosis? Essentially, like, you know, you shut down, blackout, but you're still running, you're still going, you're still talking, still doing everything, right? It's kind of like a disconnection from yourself, but you still being coherent and aware and all that. I have meltdowns and a lot of shutdowns, and I go mute, not by choice. So when you go mute, what's going on in your head? Like, are you muting because of a particular thing? For me, I end up muting because it's like I have something that I want to say, but I can't figure out how to say it. And then I start spending too long on trying to script what I'm going to say. And then by that time, it's already been so long, you know? Break from reality usually at the peak of mania. No, I never, yeah, I guess I never really had psychosis, you know? And the ruminating, absolutely bad memories. That was at my worst enemy. Yeah. It would be really bad when it would be like night terrors and that kind of stuff, you know. Have you had freeze moment? Yeah, so Kelsey, freeze is my my fear response, my automatic fear response. Because as a child, what else could I do? I can't fight flight, you know. None of that stuff's happening. So yeah, freeze ends up being it, and the thing is that like that still happens to me. If I'm in an argument with somebody, like I'll freeze. If I don't know, I get overstimulated, I'll freeze, you know. No, but no words. Pain or nothing, or crying, but no words. No expressions either. Paranoid delusions. What kind of delusions? I know that there's definitely times where my amygdala is triggered, and then I see like a shadow or something like that and think that's something, so I do a quick look, but I never actually see anything that isn't there. Social fluidity, or did it feel awkward? I am not good socially, if that's what you're asking. And by that, I just mean I'm very, very awkward. In fact, I'm great like online. I'm great on things like Twitter, right? So I would have to do that stuff professionally, and then I would meet people at conferences and they'd be like, oh, I've seen your Twitter, and I would be like, oh man, they're gonna expect me to be like witty, they're gonna expect me to be on it, but really like everything there is like scripted, right? And I'm not gonna be able to remember all that stuff. So different, hard to explain, but I try. Yeah, wait, it feels like a disconnected part of the portal lobe. It's not like that freeze moments is different. Yeah. Well, somebody else was asking about the freeze, but yeah. Do I experience issues with, yeah, I already talked about that one. Social, I am very socially awkward. I am 44 now. Frontal lobe. Yeah. Let me see here. Mute. Yeah, for me, I think it's like panic. So it may not even be that, but I just know that when I panic, like there's a lot of times where I just can't even say anything, except for saying that I just need a moment, you know. No one's against you, Dave. No one's against you. Do I have any kids? Any genetic pass-ons? Yeah, unfortunately, I did pass on some genetics of neurodiversity onto my children. You know, and I don't know. I love being a dad, so not delusional now. Yeah. You got RSD. Your level. Okay, good. Good. Someday I'm going to figure out how to get the sound to work on this Tickfinity thing because it's so freaking funny. I'm gonna try text to speech real fast. So you guys are gonna have to hear text to speech for like a second. Okay, so you guys heard that, right? So that's text to speech, and that's the same thing that it should be triggering. So let's try to motorcycle cop one more time. But if it does do it, you're gonna maybe hear a siren. All right. So, warning.
Freeze! This
Nope.
is the diagnosis police.
Nope.
Hand over your fidget toys and
You heard
move
that, but
away
you're
from
not
the
hearing
train.
this, right? Yeah. It's weird. I don't get it. Yeah. I programmed it with such cool scripts too. I need to figure it out. I'm gonna ask the Tickfinity pros. Actually, I have them on Discord. So I'll just ask support. Maybe they have relay issue. Sound alerts. Let's see, what are other people saying? Other people are talking about sound not working, and it's on there. I tried to open with running as an administrator, but nothing. Multiple users affected. I'm looking into it. Okay, it's working now, but it's not working for me. Okay, other people have an issue. Close out, blah blah blah. This is weird. I want to hear another time, if not now. What do you want to hear? Sorry. Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. This thing. Oh, they're blaming TikTok Live Studio. I just copy paste link into a Chrome tab and then click the test play button on my actions list. If this works. Okay, yeah, that actually sounds like a pretty smart idea. So let me see, Motorcycle Cop one that's on screen 3. Let me copy the screen 3 link and then put it into a Chrome tab. And then I should be able to hear it when I trigger it. It's going to show again on your end too, but I'm going to see it in a browser. So, sorry, I'm doing troubleshooting right now.
Freeze! This is the diagnosis police. Hand over your fidget toys and move away from the train.
It's not really doing anything. It's just, yeah. Yep. Well, how did I discover? I hit burnout. So burnout for me was like slow decline in cognitive function. And then, yeah, when I hit burnout though, ADHD is executive dysfunction. When I hit burnout, I didn't even have executive function. So basically, I was just there with ADHD and had no coping skills, nothing. And it was just dreadful. It was a dreadful experience waking up and basically like losing the ability to do so many things. I had complete skill regression. I basically had to learn how to do things all over again. And so it was a pain for reals. Let's see. On a women prayer after closing to and Tickfinity dealing with the frustration situation on my previous post, I decided to open them back up just to see. The emotes were all back placed, but the action is still silent again. Later on the first play. Sound, nothing will afterwards. This is without touching any. Wait. But the actions all went silent again after I played one. Let's see. Try creating another sound alert that includes your emote. Seems like a lot of reading. Okay, yeah. let's see. Autism diagnosis then as well. So autism's the only self-diagnosis, and there's a few reasons why. Um, when I was discovering everything, I considered everything to be ADHD, and one of the things that I communicated to my practitioners was my sound sensitivity. They were like, yeah, everyone gets distracted, or people with ADHD get distracted when they hear things, right? I was like, cool, all right. And then I kept bringing it up, and they were like, well, why are you bringing it up? I'm like, well, there's still the pain part. I don't understand the pain aspect of it and why I get like chills all throughout my whole body and feel pain everywhere. And then they were like, oh, that's actually autism. That's not ADHD. And it was a psychiatrist. And very like, because there were other traits, other things that I had talked about too. And so it was just kind of like a quick like nod on that, and me being like, okay, well, I'm not going to get an official diagnosis because RFK wants to put me in Gitmo. So yeah, and I just kind of like accepted it, because I mean, I already knew all the things, so it's just slapping a label on it, but yeah, my friend had me remember something. I'm not saying what, and I didn't realize how much it meant. Yeah. I've done that to some people, in the past, like friends of mine and stuff. Um, oh, they're still working on it, I guess. I don't know. The sounds are a actual issue. Let's see. 2007. 2007. What? Am I curious as to the cause of what? Because I definitely am, have looked into stuff for certain things, but which one specifically do you mean for the cause? Because I feel like I've kind of figured out the terms of it and stuff. I don't. Yeah. See, I have the chat settings filters turned off, I believe. Let me check it again, because maybe they changed it and re-enabled it. But a lot of it is just TikTok, and if you're saying the word autistic, a lot of times it filters that too. So, I don't know. Come on, where's my chat settings? Yeah. ADHD and autism? Well, I was born with both of those. So that's the cause. It's because I have a different neurotype. How come the box isn't opening? Huh. Maybe I could do it here. Nope, not there. There we go. Extended chat. Moderators, muted accounts, blocked accounts. Maybe there's keywords blocked. I don't think there is though. Nope. Extended chat, interaction hands, key viewers, joins and likes, gifts. Yeah. Let's see. And yeah. Let's see here. Nope. good. No, it doesn't look like there's anything in there that would indicate. Yeah, keyword filter. Oh, wait, hold on. They did turn it back on. All right. Yep, should be good now. Well, I gotta look through everything. Show effects, show on scene, live chat, auto translation. Yeah, so we should be good now, hopefully. Police. I could try and do it. Let's see. It's not gonna work though because of stuff. But wait, you guys hearing that? Yeah or nay? Yay or nay? Are you here? Did you hear it? Very curious. You did? Okay. Let me try another one.
Freeze! This is the Diagnosis Police. Hand over your fidget toys and move away from the train.
Did it work? Did it? I guess it did then. All right. So then, let me go back to that first one and see if the text-to-speech starts working. Nope. Okay. Sorry about that. Wait. Maybe I don't even have it set up for it. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, I don't have text-to-speech set up on that one. All right. What should the text-to-speech message be? Actually, what I'll do is I'll play the other one. So that's what I was trying to trigger earlier when that one. Oh man. Wait, hold on. Save changes. No. All right, let me look at the first one. This is a different one.
Hold it right there. You can't be talking about this stuff. I'm going to need to see your diagnosis.
There you go. So then I need to program in the script for the other one, and then we'll have 3 different ones. And then so I have it set up to where mods, well, I think I turned it off, but mods can trigger it automatically using that exclamation point police thing. But like I said, it's turned off right now. So yeah, dark humor. Yeah, I don't know. I like to troll the trolls, you know? Yeah. It's my pride and joy to be able to do that. You like the part with the train? Yeah, it just came to me, you know? Anything else though? Is there like any kind of like something that I could say? Like, I need help here, guys. I need somebody to come up with a decent line in which the police officer could be saying to the person who shouldn't be talking about what they have, because somebody needs to check and make sure that I have my diagnosis, you know, which I get like a lot of people who ask first, you know. I haven't seen the autistic report about the train. I have not. Ocean View, what I'm just gonna make you a mod. And then it doesn't matter anyone else. You can just do it yourself. But I still have it disabled. But when it's enabled, then you'll be able to. Alright? I'm trying to. I don't think it wants to listen to me right now. Come on. There we go. All right. Doop, 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 doo. All right. Ocean View. You are now a mod. But again, it's still disabled. Ocean View, don't worry about it. You don't even have to do mod stuff if you don't want to. I have no history in fam. I have 3 kids, all diagnosed same. Present differently but similar. So here's the thing. You could have it, but you could be coping quite well. And the thing is that you often, well, I'm not saying you, but often people will not really fully understand until one day it clicks, and then they realize that there is something that's different, but you just kind of handle it differently. But there can be other factors as well, I guess. But primarily, you know, I see it through genetics. But that's just me, non-professional, just lived experience guy. But meeting a lot of people, you know. So, but I do need somebody to come up with a decent script for me. So throw something up there. Um, what should it be about? I feel like that we have so much potential right now. Because that third one needs a script. Let's see. See, I can't think on the spot. If nobody was watching, I'd be able to come up with something awesome. My son literally snuck out last week to go watch trains. I'm sorry, I didn't laugh. I'm sorry that he did that. But you at least know now where, if you can't find him, where you might be able to potentially find him, which is kind of cool. So, you know, I don't know. But what should the other one say? Oh. Okay, so I snuck a stop resisting into one of them, and it might, if it didn't say it on the other one, then I need to put that in there. I don't know. Train rides are now for free. Let's see. Could be worse, but yeah, I love them. You know, my kids are likely going to have. I mean, my daughter was already diagnosed with ADHD, but you know, I know my son has a lot of tendencies and stuff too. Is it the train rides are not for free? Is that what you want me to put on the text to speech? Let's see. I could also just go and like look at my other ones. What are the other two again? Okay, so I'm just gonna say them. All right, because I don't want to like make everyone have to hear the sirens and all that stuff all over again. But Techfinity's going so stinking slow. It's probably because I'm on YouTube or streaming on YouTube. Let me see here. Where are we at? All right. The first one of them says, yeah. I'm gonna say what they say. Freeze. This is the diagnosis police. Hand over your fidget toys and move away from the train. So that's what one of the officers says. And then let's see that. And then the other one says, sorry, Tickfinity's going slow, but at least it's playing the sound now, so I'm not going to really complain, but hold it right there. You can't be talking about this stuff. I'm going to need to see your diagnosis. So let's see. Well, see, here's the thing. Here's what they come in and say. All right. So a lot of times I'll get the, it's always about the diagnosis, right? So it's like, is this a professional or self-diagnosis, right? Or the denial of the diagnosis, right? So saying like, you don't have autism, you don't have, you know, dyslexia or whatever, right? And that's one of the common ones, is the you don't have autism. And then I don't know. So definitely throwing in like a, must be from a licensed professional thing would be good. And you could throw in funny things about any of these diagnoses. Maybe I'll do a dyslexia one and I'll just swap a word, like they aren't real, more just, I either that, I honestly don't know. But see, here's the thing is that like I get a decent amount of trolls, but in past, like there have been trolls that have like end up following me and being part of it. Yeah, you don't look autistic. That's another one too. Yeah. So should I say something like, we got a report of a normal man, of a normal looking man saying he's autistic or something like that, like some, because those are the terms they use, like normal and stuff like that. Or maybe that I don't know. Masking. If you're not diagnosed by a medical doctor, you have no room to say you have any of these things. Sorry. Okay, Twyla, I need your help. Twyla. Can you help me? So, what other things do you have to say about my diagnosis and that cast doubt onto you that I have them? And I'm being sincere. Like, can you let me know? Because I want to get like more of those comments from you. It's really gonna help me. This is like the time. You just came in right at the right time. This is fate. This is algorithm working. This is proving Jesus exists, like right here, right now. And so, please come at me again. I need it. Like, I'm not gonna reply to you. I'm not gonna be rude. Not gonna do anything. Like, you could just give it to me. And I swear, I'm not gonna like attack or anything. At least just you. If somebody else does, I'll go off on them. But you are safe. I just need to know. Probably not even in here anymore. But if you are, I need you. Just like I need a diagnosis from a medical doctor, right? Because even though that will cost thousands and thousands of dollars if you don't have insurance, But yeah, poor people shouldn't be allowed to be ADHD or autistic, right? Sorry, you're not replying, so now I have to start going off. But yeah, let's gatekeep complex mental health. Let's do that. Because people don't deserve to understand their authentic self. Right? Is that what you're saying, Twyla? Yeah. She gone. Or she went mute. Maybe she's autistic. Can't even see. Likes. Yeah, it doesn't show me who's like actually here. Oh, there's the one that says who's here. Yeah, she's gone. Freaking A, man. Like, that was like perfect timing, wasn't it? That was like amazing. Like, she showed up like right when I needed a troll. And then they freaking just go off. Like, you can't find a reliable troll these days, Like, I would have stayed. I would have definitely helped out. But these kids and their new way of trolling is just so sloppy. Can't commit to it. Can't, like I don't know about you guys, but when I do stuff, I try and do it to the best of my ability, regardless of what it is. And these trolls are just so sloppy, My son's counselor told me, well, I don't need a diagnosis to know he has autism. And honestly, I didn't need a diagnosis to know that I had ADHD. Psychiatrists already knew it. But I purposefully went for my ADHD diagnosis because if I was going to get on stimulants, I needed to know for sure because my dad passed from heart failure, And so it's like that was the reason why doctors didn't need me to start treating it. I purposefully sought out a diagnosis. So I mean, these people just don't know what they're talking about. But so anyway, back to what we were gonna say. So, should I mention Twyla in it? We got a call from Twyla. She said that if you're not diagnosed by a medical. Oh yes, that's it. Maybe she'll come back. Yeah. Oh, you like the headache example about like making sure you seek a diagnosis from a medical professional before you take some acetaminophen. Yeah. Elvance, so nice, awesome. I'm on Concerta and I'm trying that. And yeah. Hey Jackie, how's it going? No, somebody came in. It was really cool. So have you seen my overlays for when people question the diagnoses? Um, Let me show you one. All right. Cover your ears, people, if you don't like sirens. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Freeze! This is the Diagnosis Police. Hand over your fidget toys and move away from the train.
Did it actually work? I didn't see if it worked. I couldn't see the screen. But yeah, so I have 3 different versions of those. Only 2 of them have text-to-speech. No? No what? Or I don't know. Did it work, guys? Okay. You didn't see it, but you heard it. So was it not visible? Is that the thing? Only the sound worked. Great. Finally get it to work, and it's just the sound. Let me do this real fast, okay? This may do it. We're gonna go click over here, which removes all that stuff, and it removes the links. And then when I go back to the scene, it relaunches the links. So things are gonna look a little weird here. Give me a second, because I am then gonna have to change this thing here for a particular reason. My arms are still here. I'm still here, okay? But Joaquin Phoenix, I'm still here, right? Where did that pop-up go? You say you're there, but I don't see you. Can you guys hear? Okay, yeah, it was saying that my sound was off. I know it's all white now. Oops. Control Z. All right. There we go. All right, hold on a sec. Boo, 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 boo. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Just gotta give me a second. There we go. All right, apply. We good now. All right. So now let me do that one more time. So I'll do a different one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hold it right there. You can't be talking about this stuff. I'm going to need to see your diagnosis.
Oh, Jackie, you have no idea. I am like super tech savvy. All right. Yeah. So here's the thing. We were trying to figure out, because there's a third one, but it doesn't have any text-to-speech settings on it, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. And so we were trying to figure out what could it be. And then a troll came in. And I asked, I said, please give me more. Like, tell me more. And she freaking didn't. Like, so stupid. Like, I was like it was like the stars aligned. It was like the perfect opportunity. And she freaking wouldn't do it. Here we go. I'll pin it. And so I think I'm just going to put that. Oh, we got a report from Twyla that, and then that can be sponsored by her, like it can be her thing. So I think I'm going to incorporate Twyla into this one, and maybe she comes back, and then we can change it later. I'll think of something. But I think that's a good idea. I think I'm awesome, so we'll do that. Yeah. Haters hate until you ask for the facts. Well, see, here's the thing: is that like I get a lot of like different things from people who don't even understand stuff. Like I had somebody tell me that ASPD takes years to diagnose. I don't even have ASPD. I had to look up what it was. At first, I thought they said ADHD because that would make sense, right? But no, that's not what they said. So, you love the Galaxy Light? I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up if you want one. But I don't know. It wouldn't work in your live, right? Because you know, but you could still play with one. So yeah, I'll hook you up if somehow. All right, text to speech. No, not that one. Thank you so much, Butterfly. I am really just a sarcastic asshat, you know, really. But there's charm in that, isn't there? You know? That's a good person. Well, I care about people. And I feel like that should be a prerequisite in everyone's lives, but it's not. So let's see. We received a call from, what was her name? Twyla? Dark sarcasm. Any kind of sarcasm is best, but especially the dark kind. Yeah. Especially the kind that trolls, you know? She spelt it all. Twyla May Sane. Let's see. All right. All right. So let's save it and then we'll play the third one, yeah? So I got it all put in. My computer's going so sticky. So is my video looking bad or anything? Because my computer's going so slow, like I'm worried that like it's gonna affect the stream. Okay, cool. Okay, come on, save. I want to play this one. Action saved, but I still see the pop-up. Come on, make it disappear. There we go. All right, here we go. I'm gonna seriously, my computer's going so slow. Like this, I swear Tickfinity is probably like on its last bit of energy here. All right, here we go. Third one.
We received a call from Quilame saying if you are not diagnosed by a medical doctor, you have no room to say you have these things.
I just need to add a comma, but that's pretty good, right? I just took a direct quote. I think that one works. So, Motorcycle Cop number 3 is now sponsored by Twyla May, who did not bring the troll because trolls don't even try anymore. When back in my day, when we trolled hard. We trolled until you could troll no more, until that person was broken down, right? These new people can't even do it, you know? Like this new generation of trolls are just so pathetic. They're so weak, they're so soft, right? I sound like all the people that I hate. Yeah. You know, OG troll up in here. Seriously, like, I need a troll. Somebody get me a troll. Let me see here. Jackie, I'm gonna make you a mod just so that if ever needed, you could trigger it, because I allow mods to be able to trigger it through all these like permission things I can set. Yeah, seriously, like why? why go through all the effort of saying something and then leave? You know, that's kind of pathetic, you know, to like make a statement and not even wait for like the response. Anyone could do that, right? Like anyone. You shall not abuse your power. I worry not. But like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. The internet's going to be so boring in like 10, 20 years when like all the trolls are just like poo poo pee pee and then that's it, you know? Like, it's going to be so bad. I am so disappointed. You know? It's a damn shame. Okay, so and then what I gotta do now? So I got that set. So thank you. I'm gonna enable that alert. And the best part is it does it randomly, so it'll automatically do it. All right, so there's 3 commands that work for moderators. Actually, there's a few. So there's exclamation point tap to make like a tap the screen thing up here. There's exclamation point water, which makes a reminder to drink water. And actually, I think that's anyone can do that. No, any sub can do that, but also any mod. And then police. That can be triggered. But here's another thing. Police can only be triggered by mods, but that one will do it randomly. So yeah, you could do that. This isn't research. This is all the settings that I configured. I just don't remember it, so that's why I have to go back and do it. I also had it configured to where, like, so this keeps track of like all the gifts and everything that you've like ever received, which is weird that it's able to like get that information. But anyway, so it has its own like set of points in Tickfinity. And I made it to where anyone who has over 1,000 points, which basically means it's somebody who's gifted, you know, up to 1,000 coins, can trigger it, and it just reduces the amount of coins that they have. So somebody essentially could say give a galaxy, and then they have the ability to do it, but they would have to do it. And the tap one, that's just moderators. I don't think there's any that anyone can do, except for the police one if they have given more than 1,000 coins total, like spread apart. So if you gave like 1,000 heart me's, did it work? I hope it worked. It did work. Cool. Thanks for the reminder. So there you go. I am such a nerd, but I do the coolest stuff with the knowledge that I have. Now it's going to be queued up. So there you go. See? So they go one to another, that kind of stuff. I got to shift where it's actually going. There we go. Maybe I should just move over. It goes away like after like 10 seconds. I could change the interval, but yeah. So it's a whole thing. I basically spent one afternoon just like being like, all right, I'm tired of these trolls. I'm gonna get them good, you know. I haven't even used it yet. Yeah, so here's the thing. It's like I use ChatGPT to make the videos, like to make the animation. I purposely told it to make it look bad, you know. Basically like old cartoons that didn't even animate. I wanted it like that, and then it was just like play this video, say this text to speech, and then have this siren, you know. But it was just I don't know. It's funny. That's what I do with my ADHD brain. To be honest, I do stuff like that. I enjoy life with it, you know. It's called hyperfocus. Yes. But yeah. So it's really cool. TBH. It's so cool. It's so fun. And to be honest with you, like trolling the trolls is like they never win. I do have to block them eventually if they do start attacking people in the chat or being extra rude or being triggering. But when they're trolling and they're actually doing it, oh, they can't win. You know, I'm too like rational, way too rational. So I don't know. There's certain times in your life where you just feel like I love myself, right? Very rarely, right? But sometimes it happens. And this is one of those times where it's like, I love me, you know? I love me. I'm so good. I'm great. And then after this, I'm going to be like, go to Taco Bell and then hate myself, you know? Fell down psychology holes, made 6 art projects, and organized by making a mess. Yeah. That's a lot of hyper focusing, you know. Jackie, I gotta tell you more about stuff from that one place. I decided to just mask the whole time I'm there. I'm just kind of done with the statements being made. So it's I'm like, well, I'm only there for like really the educational aspect. I didn't actually challenge. So this is what I did instead. Let me show you. You know, the main thing is I don't want to be disruptive. People are there for a reason, right? People are there to better themselves, right? And so I'm not going to disrupt it. And so that was one of the things that I thought about. So then, you know, I have my notes here, my weekend action plan. So then instead, what I did, instead of an outpatient therapy program, so instead what I did was I started just writing down like I was taking notes. But instead what I wrote was, you can disconnect from your parents if the relationship is frayed and your parents are not willing to grow. It is not an absolute. If your parents choose to introduce fear at for a 3-year-old for the purpose of taking away the child's will, not only that, but insisting it is to save you from hell because you've disappointed the Almighty, you're told to endure the abuse and then love on the parent afterwards. And so I'm like going through like all the reasons as to why it's okay to not forgive the people who traumatized you. And it was basically like 3 pages of note taking that I did. But yeah, one of the therapists in the group was basically saying that the way you get rid of PTSD is to forgive the person who gave you PTSD, and that's how you have to do it. And I'm like, no. It took a lot of effort for my parents to do what they did. If I didn't like actually witness my dad like buying like wood and like cutting things out slowly and like literally I remember him using finish on it and like making it look all nice and like, okay, that's a lot of effort. And I'm supposed to go and forgive somebody who really took effort into doing no, you know? Yeah. I don't want to say where I went, but actually never mind. But yeah, Jackie, honestly, I'm glad that you told me what you told me because coincidentally that was the conversation that came up then like the next day or even that morning, right? But yeah. But to say where I went, context, not specifically. So it's called a partial hospitalization program, PHP, or an intensive outpatient program, an IOP. But it's essentially like what I guess you could kind of consider it like rehab, but for like mental health. And you just like go to classes for like 6-7 hours a day. for like the first couple of weeks, and then you drop down to like 3 days a week, and you know, you're basically learning about dialectical behavioral therapy, some somatic therapies, and a lot of other stuff. It was really informative for me, really helped out. But there's other sessions too where certain therapists will come in and talk about stuff, and sometimes it gets off onto tangents, and then when it gets off into certain tangents, certain things are revealed about people. That, like, you know, maybe they don't feel like they can learn from people who are there. And that's one of the things that I struggle with, is because they don't understand neurodiversity at all. And I was kind of attacked because of that. And so that started one thing, and then the topic became about PTSD and why you need to forgive your aggressors and stuff. And I don't know, it's not cool. Yeah. For other traumatized by therapists, but the problem is that, you know, a lot of the people there are really smart. Okay, like I'll say that they are super smart, but they also kind of feel like they have it all figured out because they're super smart. And it's like, I learn so much from other people, and I don't understand how somebody with a growth mindset would not be willing to grow from someplace they don't expect to grow from, you know? And so that was kind of like the issue that I had. So when it comes to my neurodiversity, I decided I'm gonna just mask, which is gonna be stressful. And it's supposed to be a safe space, right? It's supposed to be a place where you can talk about these things. But I guess just not there. So, but I didn't really go there for neurodiversity help. I went there to relearn and to review dialectical behavioral therapy skills. And so I'm still getting out of that what I need, because I am. I'm just not gonna participate and include any things having to do with ADHD or autism, or even probably any of the CPTSD or PTSD, which essentially would mean I don't even talk about dyslexia. But the funny thing is that I was even called out for that. It was just it's such a weird experience. But again, that's not why I'm there, so I can just mask up, you know. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest with you, when it first happened, that's exactly what I did. I basically did shut down. I was pissed. But thankfully, I had already been scheduled to leave early that day because I had to pick up my kids. So I left at like 12, and it was like right after that. But the funny thing was that nobody was informed that I had gotten that time off, and so I got a call at like a little after 3 from the person, like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And then it was like, "Oh, you weren't there," and I knew that was it. But at the same time, I was kind of like, well, coincidentally, it can make it look like I did storm out. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't show up. And so maybe he doesn't know, and then he'll worry that maybe he did say something, right? And so I was kind of like leaning on that a little bit, if that makes sense, you know? And so I was hoping that because of that, he would freak out a little bit. And I kind of feel like he did. And I was like, oh no, I had the day off. And I said, there's paperwork there. So it was, I just hope I caused a little bit of a heart flutter, you know? Depressed person, don't just be, I have had, yeah. You know, the suspender. What was I going to say? Depressed person. Oh, I had a psychiatrist at the first IOP that I went to before I went to this other one, at a different place. The psychiatrist there told me that she defeated depression without medication, and if she can, anyone can. Psychiatrist, like an actual psychiatrist. Also told me that everybody has ADHD. and then also told me you can't have ADHD because you're too successful. I didn't stay much longer after that. I did walk out of that one, and they were not too thrilled. But then I got to a better one. But that one, I mean, talk about bad experiences. That was a terrible one. I witnessed like the administration yelling at somebody because that person called the owner a bad word. I got told I couldn't talk to my husband about my mental health because I was... What? When no one wanted to diagnose me, they said I was successful, so I'm fine. Yeah, Jackie, it sucks that you have to like advocate for yourself. And that's the thing is like, that's like a big part of like why I feel like so motivated to continue going with this, is because stupid people think that like the way that you appear is like reflects the internal struggles, right? Or the lack of, or you know, they dismiss it. And like, I don't understand how people are not actually looking deeper into it when it's their job to look deeper into it and to not just dismiss, you know. I don't think they understand masking. But the thing is that like, I don't know, it's just such a struggle, you know. I had one 10-10 teacher for one of my kids. So sad. Yeah. Oh, so is Shorty. But talking, I don't know. That's weird though. Like nobody should tell you to like not talk to your spouse, right? It's just, I don't know. But for me, learning the DBT skills there through the people who teach them, learning somatic therapies from the people who teach them, as long as they like lay off of the judgments, it'd be great. But there's too many like opinion pieces there, you know. She had open seat and let him sit under the desk the whole year. He learned so much that year. That's, see, just, that's working with the brain and not against it. You know, that's where success comes, is when you're working with them. You know, and if that's kids sitting under the desk, then great, the kid's learning, you know? Like, you know, whatever works for everyone. And the thing is that autism is a learning disability, right? And so the kid can learn. It's like, well, I don't think it's a disability. It's more just you're not doing it the right way, you know? Imagine if they actually put consideration into the fact that maybe curriculum, maybe even the way of just the teaching isn't working. Maybe if it was adapted to work for everyone by now including other factors like, well, autistic people need this to be able to learn a little better. Maybe we could find some common ground in the middle where everybody can learn because we're all now all learning a different way. It'd be great, but it's just not given that consideration. They're given to another class, you know? And that other class is just going to dumb it all down, right? Because they think it's an intellectual thing. So, hey, Trey. All right. Have a good night, Jackie. Feel free to fill him in. Not bother anyone. Yeah. See, like, here's the thing. Like, oh no, I'm not going to talk about that because that's trauma. But yeah, yeah. People should be enabled to be able to like do the things the way that they want to do if the outcome works, you know? You too, Jackie. Take care. What's complex PTSD? Yeah, so complex PTSD, well, I'll explain complex and regular PTSD. So I have both of those. I have PTSD from an illness that I had from all of 2023. It was a GI issue, SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Essentially, methane bacteria made its way into my upper intestine, which caused so much disruption and everything. And the methane type of bacteria is supposed to be in the lower intestine. All right. So somehow it made its way up, and it's just caused so much disruption in my upper intestine. Hey, Ocean View, now you show up there too because you're a mod. And so I had that for a year. Doctors were unable to figure out what was going on. It took a year to get diagnosed. I lost over 100 pounds, and that was while still doing the green stuff to be able to eat. Even despite that, I still lost over 100 pounds. So my whole body was just shutting down. Everything was just getting bad. And then I hit like a breaking point where I was just like at the lowest of the low. And then eventually the doctors finally figured out what it was. And then, I started getting better. But the problem was that when I was going through the illness, it was the worst at night. That was just be when it would be just like so terrible. And I developed insomnia. I would not go to sleep because I would start to kind of feel this like false nausea that I believed was real. And then I just wouldn't go to sleep at night because I'd be too scared. As soon as I close my eyes, it's going to start hurting. And so for like 6 months about after it, I still didn't, wasn't able to sleep, and it affected me in like so many different ways. And so that was the PTSD, right? My body has a specific response to the trauma. So complex PTSD is trauma. So basically everything that I explained, like a traumatic event, but it's over an extended period of time. So for me, the trauma, which it's not the same kind, it's physical abuse, over an extended period of time. So for me, it was ages 3 to 8, 9, somewhere around there. And it was repeated, essentially corporal punishment, but it was done in a very, very severe, harsh way. And because of my neurodiversity, significantly more impactful because I was also getting punished for forgetting stuff. I was getting punished for not listening. And I honestly was not a good kid. I mean, no, sorry. Dyslexia just kicked in. I honestly was a good kid. I didn't really have intention on doing anything bad. Like I cared. I always cared. But so like for me, the trauma was like, I don't deserve this. Why is this happening? And all the complex feelings that come with that, again, started when I was 3 years old. So what happens with that though is that you develop behaviors that stick with you the rest of your life because essentially you were raised in chaos. So everything that you do is within a chaotic filter. So I learned how to eat in chaos, right? I learned how to say hello to people and introduce myself in chaos. Everything is in chaos. Now, does it mean that I'm acting chaotic? No. But it does mean that I'm inherently going to be super stressed out when those things happen, which is unfortunately everything. Everything in my life I learned then. So you end up with a lot of these behaviors that are based on your old experiences growing up in an environment that you're no longer in. And so there's that. It also, because it happens at an early stage, or at least mine, it caused different neural pathways to be developed so that I could survive. I have a dissociative disorder that comes with it as well, because as a child, my brain helped me by allowing me to dissociate so that I could be spared from the emotional and physical pain, because it would not make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me. I blacked out lots of times too. And I'm not saying this for like pity or anything like that. Devin, thank you for the heart me. But I'm just kind of like giving you sort of like the thing, the story to like kind of, get you the clarity on it. So on top of that, when I developed those things, basically I would develop this safe space in my head, right? Where I could go and where I could not feel pain. Because of CPTSD, I can actually do that now. If I want to not feel pain, I can trigger my dissociation and go into a certain mode where emotional numbness, physical numbness is just there. And it's a learned behavior based off of that. Hey, Shell, thank you so much. Thank you for the heart me. And the Go Populars. I can resonate with you a lot. I appreciate that. So, and then there's more to it too. Um, it becomes a nervous disorder because it's so attached to your body and your body's response. It also causes your amygdala to be easily triggered. So that means basically you get scared easily. I'm constantly scared. I like live in fear, but see, it's not as bad as you would think. I'm so used to my amygdala being triggered that my perception of fear is really tainted. So now when I feel fear, it's like, oh, there's that thing again. What is it? Oh, it's my CPTSD. Like it's easy for me now to kind of like navigate it because I've just become so aware of how easily my amygdala has been triggered my whole life. So you can see with complex PTSD, it earns the complex label because it's not just trauma, it's all these things that happen as the result of repeated trauma. Over and over, especially from people who are your caretakers, right? So you learn life through the lens of chaos and fear and all this other stuff. So what it does to me now, no, I'm a grown up. I've developed, positive things and all that kind of stuff, but they're rooted in this trauma. And so for me, it's trying to undo that baseline of chaos and introduce some kind of calm into it. Which is super challenging because we're talking about like my personality essentially, and so it's complex. Very long answer. Hopefully you're still here to hear the answer. But yeah, that's that. Complex AF. No problem, Nick. Hopefully I said that right. Yeah. I just want to make sure because I ramble, obviously. But yeah, there's more to it too. There's a lot more to it. But that's just my flavor as well. And so many people have different types of things that go with theirs. Sometimes it's so much harsher what the brain does, Sometimes it's not as harsh, but the trauma, the actual events are harsher, There's such a mixture of different types of things, plus the environments and the support you had. Because my thing was that, like, I also didn't have any outside support. I was isolated, homeschooled. Really, I taught myself, which means my teacher was a 9-year-old. So then there's other factors that kind of play into it too, because I had no escape, like even in schooling kind of thing, So that then develops like a lot of self-esteem issues, a lot of insecurities, a lot of helplessness. But I'm telling you this with knowledge. Now that I know this, it's like completely changed for me. Like as soon as I realize, oh, this is because of this, like I let go of it because I'm like, oh, that's because of that. Okay, cool. Like I don't want anything to do with that. So I'm not going to act this way. I'm not going to behave this way because that's a trauma response. Like I want nothing to do with the trauma. So that's kind of where like the autistic part of me starts to look at it and just being like binary, black and white, of just like, oh, I don't want that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. And it just becomes so like literal. And so I can look at these traumatic events and look at like the state of everything and just be like, yeah, it sucks. And then when I do the inner work or I come across something that is a trauma response, I'm very quick to be like, oh, I got to dissect this thing, get rid of the junk and insert some kind of calm into it. And so it becomes, a whole process, but at least now I have a direction on how to handle this stuff. And so like I feel good about it because like, I don't know, there's stuff I can do with it. For decades, there was nothing I could do about anything, but now there's something I could do about it. And so great. I get to live my life more authentically moving forward. Fantastic. The way I should have, not being raised in trauma. Great. I get to finally live. Awesome. I wish I would have been living all this time. Instead, it's great. Now, moving forward, I get to live, you know? And I'm happy with that. Because the thing is everything that's happened is my story, you know? And my story can help others. My story is my story. Am I proud of it? No, I'm not necessarily proud of it. It's what it is, right? But it just exists. But it is my story, you know? So I'm not going to say that I wish something, I mean, would have been different. I mean, sure, but I'm not going to ruminate on it too much because it really did just make me who I am, which I would say, yeah, a lot of bad things in there, like, you know, the self-esteem stuff and just sort of how I even look at myself overall. Yeah. But it also showed me, it gave me a great sense of empathy specifically for people who are going through pain, because I know what pain is. I've known what pain is my whole life. People who are scared, people who are fearful. Yeah, I know what fear is like, you know? And it's not to say like, oh, I know what you're talking. It's more like I understand it. So now I approach it with the emotional attunement to be able to help out, because somebody who is scared isn't going to respond well to stop being scared. There's nothing to be scared of, right? Because I know that's not going to work. You know, so it allows me to be able to kind of see from my perspective how I can help others because I know what would have helped me. And so that's a gift. Even though it's a curse, it's a gift, because starting this TikTok account, going and learning everything that I have, meeting the people that I have been able to take my terrible story, right? But turn it into something amazing and something good for others, because others are learning and benefiting from the way that I'm handling this to be able to help address their own stuff, you know? HD audio calms my nervous system. I will, I'll do like the frequency sounds and all that stuff, but yeah. Never mind, ignore the hate. MB, what are you worried about? Oh, were you trolling? Because if you are, like it's cool. Like, don't worry about it. I just didn't like. You only said like 2 things, so I didn't know what it was. But yeah, you know, the thing is that people don't understand this stuff. Yeah, yeah. You know, that's the thing, is like people don't understand these things. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is because nobody talks about it. Nobody opens up about their trauma. Nobody, you know. I'm sorry, Kai. You know, people don't talk about this stuff, and so people then don't understand because they don't hear the first account experiences, right? Because we're told to just shut up about it. And that's not right, because that ends up leaving people suffering by themselves with no one to relate to, nobody to help them through it, nobody to. And not only that, it robs me the opportunity to be able to help people, right? To turn it into something good. And so, like, I want to see that change. You know, I want to see that change. I want us to live in a world where it's okay to talk about stuff that's actually concerning, that's actually real, and be able to embrace community, you know? Hey, 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 you're cool, all right? I promise you. I get trolls all the time. And right now, if I actually did feel like you were mean or doing anything, like, I would be trolling you back. But I just became your first follower, I think, unless you're denying me. You know? Like, people learn. And I don't, they'll learn through, hopefully, experiences. You know? It's, you know, and we change by having discussions, by opening up and asking questions, getting answers, and asking questions back, and interacting, because we can only share our own experiences, right? So I don't know. But I appreciate you though, at least, you know, acknowledging that you had it wrong. I, you know, it wasn't going to bother me, to be honest, because I have to have thick skin being who I am and all that stuff. But I do appreciate sort of the thought, and actually it makes me feel good because it gives me hope that maybe someday people will look back and be like, oh, my bad. You know? You don't have to. Except I just troll on any mental health stuff. It's uncomfortable. So you troll specifically mental health stuff or not mental health stuff? I don't know. I can't understand what the things. It's okay. It would be mean of me to like make fun of your spelling when I have dyslexia, you know? My weirdness is my greatest strength as well, but I'm not for everyone. Yeah, I love my weirdness, to be honest with you. You know, I have and was met with people thinking I'm lying or just don't care. The first few psychiatrists that I saw. I'm back. Sorry for leaving. I decided I'm going to do something. What are you going to do? Hopefully it's something good and positive and not drastic. Okay, this is what I was thinking, Ash. Maybe you should, you know, go splash some cold water in your face or go run as hard as you can, do some push-ups. Because those are going to be the things that's going to tell your nervous system, hey, calm down. Hey, slow down. Just got a new therapist, not a good vibe, but we'll see. It takes time, you know. Look, you're interviewing the therapists until you decide they're not good enough and then get rid of them, get a different one, you know. pH is going flat. Have a good night. You have a good night too, Ocean View. Thank you for coming in. And thank you for the heart me. I appreciate you. Didn't I say like an hour and a half ago I was going to get off and go to sleep? Well, after debriefing with my partner, I'm going to try and be a content creator. Awesome. So, let me tell you about a content creator. I have made... How much money have I made in this live? What? Okay, so here's the thing. I gave myself a big gift because I wanted to rank up from D to C League. And it was like a 1,500 coin gift. But I got 30% of it back. So really, I lost money. But the thing is like I also don't care about that stuff, nor do I push that kind of stuff. For people who create content, especially to make a living, you know, they push that stuff. They do everything, you know, the things to try and generate that income. I'm not interested in generating income. You know what I mean? As I said, probably not morally right, but well, no, there's nothing wrong, because here's the thing. I'm here talking. This is like my thing. Pretend that TikTok Live is your TV. Okay, you're flipping through channels. Okay, so this show is just this guy talking about his experiences with these things, right? Flip to another show and you got somebody cooking something, right? Flip to another thing, you got all this stuff, right? So really what it is, you know, I don't see myself this way because I'm talking about serious stuff, but when you're not doing serious stuff, you're essentially an entertainer, right? You are entertaining people. You are on their devices, you know, like right now I'm on 16 people's devices. I'm on my own too, so, you know, but you are an entertainer. So not morally wrong, no. Find a way to entertain in a way that people will enjoy. And then it's not morally wrong. You are giving something that people enjoy, you know? And yeah, it's money, but at the same time, like, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. It's not morally wrong, you know? So I'm amazed at life, want to share experiences, not money, not fame. Yeah. So I mean, it's just look at it as you're being look at it as you're being an entertainer. Okay? Because that's really what you're doing. The hardest part is going to be figure out, well, what is it that you're going to do? You know? Because I'm sure that's difficult. I have plenty of things that if look, hey Joso, when this whole mental health thing doesn't need to be doesn't need to happen anymore because the world has opened up and allowed everybody to talk about it, and then I'm no longer relevant on this live, which is fine. I'll find something else to do if I want to still do lives. Like I my first live was me deep frying a turkey, not on this account. It was on my other one that I don't even really use anymore. But I was deep frying a turkey. I had like 2,500 people at a time on it. I had like 60,000 viewers who came through. And it was like my first time going live. So I mean, there's things that are out there that people want to watch and see. Really, I know that they were just waiting for something to blow up. Unfortunately, they didn't get that. But I mean, you can find things that people will want to watch, and there's nothing morally wrong with that. It's just you are providing them the experience of being able to watch something that's interesting to them. Sometimes that's you. Sometimes that's you talking about something. You know, I'm not saying that about me, but I mean, I would assume that people are here to either learn more or to see what I'm going to do to the next troll that comes in. You know, like it's going to be one of those kinds of things. But people are here. People have chosen to come here, which for me, I'm humbled by every time I realize that, you know, knowing I've received 21,000 likes, which means 21,000 times somebody touched the screen for me, touched the heart button for me, right? I mean, when you look at life that way, it's kind of cool, you know? And so there's nothing morally wrong with it. You're a part of people's lives in a way, you know? The Revenge of the Nerd. Are you talking about me with the police thing? I've seen Educate Trolls. It is a site. Joso, you just missed it. I was talking. Somebody asked about the PTSD and CPTSD, and so I was giving some details. And somebody came in, and they made a. I don't know if they're still. Are you still here? I hope you are. But I don't think you are. And they trolled me at first with like bro and a broken heart. Yeah. And then literally said in the next time, oh, never mind, ignore the hate, my bad. You know? And you know, because they realized, oh, this is serious, this is real. You know? Yeah. So but it was the first time, though, that a troll stopped mid-troll and backed away and said, my bad. You know? Must have felt really bad. Or resonated. Hopefully not resonated, because I don't want anybody to resonate with the trauma. You know? 712 and I've already argued with someone. Do you want to argue with another person? I can help you out. No, I mean, that sucks. I'm really sorry. Like I said, things are hard for right now, but they're not going to be hard forever. You just kind of have to tough this out. And then when you're able to be yourself, then, you know, things get much, much better. Yeah. But, Joso, you can do exclamation police again, and it should work. Like everything, I think. I know, I hate arguing too. My birthday's in June, late June. But yeah, so anyway, should I go to bed now? Like I said I was gonna do like an hour and a half ago. Kai, it's like I said, there was lots about my teenage years that I didn't like, mostly because there was so many different things that I disagreed with my parents on fundamentally. Surprise, surprise. But it's easier to kind of go through things when you know they're temporary, and by the point where you are, I realized it was temporary, because you start to realize, oh, 18's coming pretty soon. You know, it's coming sooner than I thought it would. So you start to realize more and more, oh, this is just going to be over soon. You know, it will be over soon. But like right now, I know it sucks. But sometimes the hope that you want to hold on to is that it is just temporary. You know, because it will be gone. It will go away. It will go away. It just can't go away right now. But it will. You know? It's just, you know, I don't want to say it's like a rite of passage, because that's not even it. It's just sometimes things suck temporarily. And this will be a time that you'll look back and you'll be like, yeah, you know, these years sucked. Because I definitely have the years that I've said these years sucked. You know, think about the last year that I've had, the best year of my life and the worst year of my life at the same time. You know, things are always so fluid in life. But this part is really the thing that you can tell yourself and be assured, knowing this is temporary, because it truly is. You know? Yeah. Kai, it all changes when you are the one driving, you know, at the steering wheel. When you're doing that, it all changes, because it's not about what anyone else wants. It's about you being able to live as you being able to be you finally exploring and understanding you, and it being finally your life. Okay? Because that's really what happens. You get to live really fully after you're able to disconnect. You know, not disconnect, but get out and live your life. Things will change. Like, I feel like these are one of like the absolutes in life where you can say this is temporary, because it's also something that a lot of people go through. And I'm not saying that to minimize what you're saying. I'm just saying, hopefully you can recognize that things don't have to be chaotic because they're bad, but it's okay for it to be chaotic because it's temporary, right? And knowing that it's going to be over soon, knowing that there is an end day, is the thing that can keep you going, because you'll see these things as opportunities to pick up on the stuff that you don't like, pick up on the stuff that you're not going to have be a part of your personality. You start to like take stock of like everything that's happening around you, because you're like, well, I'm gonna be you know, older soon. What's gonna matter to me? What's not gonna matter to me, right? Because you're gonna have to have things that matter. You're gonna like recognize your values, recognize what's important in your life. All these things are gonna shift, and then you'll be an adult that then, you know, is able to make their own choices, do their own things, whatever they want, be how they want to be, without somebody saying smile or whatever, you know? Like, you get to just be you. And, you know, those, like, it will happen. Like, because you can't be under the wing forever, right? You're not going to be under the wing forever. You'll finally be able to wake up, and it'll be 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, and you still wouldn't have not argued with anyone. You know? The best part is that it's temporary. That's the best part, is that it's temporary. And you can make it. You can make it. You can just keep telling yourself it's temporary. It's not going to stay forever. Because it's not going to stay forever. You know, it just sucks right now. It really does suck right now. You know, being being a kid under parents who aren't emotionally regulated and don't have, don't know how to take their emotions out of whenever they're trying to be a parent, right? And take their stuff out of it. Like, as a parent, I know that there's a lot of parents that'll screw up, you know, but this is just like what happens, and this is why, like, for me, I wanted to be so much more intentional with my kids, you know, I wanted to, because I don't feel like anything was intentional in my life except for the bad, you know. I can remember when I got my first place of my own. I remember when I moved out the first time. It only lasted a few months, and then I moved out again later on, and then that lasted about 6 months, and then the last time I moved out was the last time I moved out, but it was under better terms than the other times. And yeah, it is a good feeling. At first, like, first time you move out and all that stuff, it's different. You definitely get really excited. You are establishing yourself in a new place for the first time. So there's things like, I gotta go buy plates, or cups and silverware, and all that stuff, right? So it's like all that stuff, right? And there's a moment of just like this freedom, this knowing I can do whatever I want. Oh, hey, it's 3 a.m. I'm gonna go get Taco Bell. Like, you realize you could do whatever you want, right? And a lot of people will just go crazy because they were repressed, a lot of times. But the thing is that the one constant that's sort of there is that, like, you get to just be you however you want to be you. Reinvent yourself, do whatever, like, you get to just be you however you want to be. And that's like a pretty decent, like, thing that could be coming, that is coming, Have a good day, Kai. And you can message me on Discord. Don't expect a response in the next 7 hours, though. But have a good day, and this is, just remember, it's temporary. And you will feel freedom when you finally are able to get out. So let me see here. So how's everyone doing tonight? Micah, how's it going? Hey, Andrew. Autumn, you've been here for a while. Hopefully you're sleeping. Bye, Kai. I hope you have a really good day. What else? Maronio is also here. And hey, Sarah, Ashley, Bella, Mama to twins. Yeah. And of course, Jessica. Jessica is like that. She's my favorite silent watcher. So much so that I just made her a mod, like yesterday or the day before or whatever. But it's fun because I always just look and, oh, there's Jessica right there. She's here, just hanging out. Very, very, very appreciative of just like the community overall. But yeah. I think I probably will go to bed now, though. Silent listener, hi. Hey, sleepwalking. How come you didn't show up in this list? Well, I appreciate all the silent listeners too, because I know that a lot of times, like, I'll go in lives and not have anything to contribute. In fact, most of the time when I go into lives, like, I don't even want to chat. Like, I just want to chill, just want to hear, just want to observe. So, I get that, like, sometimes you just don't want to talk. And like, the thing is, I actually feel pressured whenever I go into somebody I know's live and I don't really want to talk, but I just want to hang out. Like, I feel pressured to contribute and I really don't want to. And so then it's just like, small talk, right? Which, ugh, right? I'm totally fine with people just not chatting. You don't need to even say, you don't even need to say hi. Honestly, you're here. That's a hi for me. I see you. That's a hi. You know? That's good enough for me. Because I just appreciate, you know? I'm glad you're starting to feel comfortable here. I wish the thing would actually show me who's on, you know, but I don't get like an actual list that is updated. So, but yeah. Yes, that's my baby. I appreciate you guys. Really do. You told me to go to bed now and hope for sleep and struggling a lot to sleep. Yeah. Well, I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate it. You like for reals, for reals. Maxed out hyper focus out today. Yeah. What? I'm sure you'll be able to sleep. Just try and like focus on like slowing your mind down. Maybe doing some like deep breathing or something, because that will force your brain to slow down. You know, but just don't ruminate on things. Don't try and think about stuff. Hell, I've because I can dissociate, I've been trying to do that to just fall asleep. It's been working, which is ridiculous. To just use the thing that I was able to do because I grew up in trauma to help me fall asleep. Yeah, but I guess if I got the superpower, I may as well use it, right? You know. Yeah, meds work too. But I don't know. I think it's funny because I'll like tell therapists straight up, yeah, I dissociated purposefully for like 3 hours the other day. You know, it's just it's silly. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I'm gonna be going live in like 6.5 hours. And yeah, so I guess I'm not getting a full night's sleep tonight because I was gonna go an hour and a half ago. But it was cool to stay up with you guys, and honestly, like we stayed up because I fixed the police thing. Anybody want to trigger the police before I go for the diagnosis people? Frugal Kathleen, hey, sorry, it's about to get loud in here for a second because I'm sure somebody is gonna trigger the police thing because I do have quite a few mods in here. I guess I could do it, but I don't think it'll work for me because I'm not technically a mod. But we'll see. Yeah. So Jessica, you want to do it? Jessica can do it. And it's like you don't have to talk. You're just typing a command.
Freeze! This is the Diagnosis Police. Hand over your fidget toys and move away from the train.
There we go. Just a little something to have while I go to sleep. Make my other account a mood? What do you mean? I am such a jackass. Hey Micah, how's it going? Thank you for the heart me. Yeah, you did do it, Jessica. How did it feel? How did it feel to be the one to trigger it? Because for me, I feel like like allowing you to like, or allowing moderators to do that, like is kind of feels empowering. Like you were able to just like set off a detonator, right? Mm-hmm. Me enabling people to feel powerful, one mod at a time. I appreciate all of you. I am going to go ahead and sign off. For those of you who don't know, I go live 6 a.m. every day Pacific time, 6 a.m. ish, daily ish, but I do it ish. Anyway, so I also have a Discord. It's on my profile. You can see the link there. So feel free to join. It's a place to go when I'm not live if you want to talk about any of these kinds of things or just hang out. You know, got a little bit of a community there. It's starting to grow. it's a little modest, you know. My voice could get a little higher too. Doing that whole Family Guy thing. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining. I am going to make a run for the border and see if they still have those crispy cantina tacos, because oh my gosh, that avocado salsa is so good. And then I'm probably gonna go to sleep. But I appreciate all of you. Appreciate you guys allowing this to be a safe space. It was really cool when that troll stopped mid trolling. It was kind of lame when that one troll was there at perfect timing and then just didn't give us anything. But it was an interesting live. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much, and thank you for those of you like Sleepwalking, who, you know, and Jessica, you know, the silent watchers who are starting to come out. Don't have to, but always welcome here if you're participating or not. And that goes for everyone else as well. Thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate all of you. I will see some of you hopefully in 6.5 hours. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. All right. Bye everyone.